Hi, I'm Inara Pervez, and welcome to FHS Podcast. This is the story of Bani Haddad, founder and managing director of Aleph Hospitality. Bani, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you very much for having me, Inara.
It's such a pleasure to be here. You recently celebrated 10 years of Aleph Hospitality in the industry, so congratulations to you on that.
Thank you.
But before we get into what Aleph has become today, I would like to go back into the days when it all started. So what inspired your journey into hospitality, and how did those early dreams shape the vision behind Aleph Hospitality today?
Great. So that's a very large question. Listen, what I think, if I have to go back to the initial stages of to what drove me into hospitality, it's probably two things. One is the desire to travel the world. So when you're young, you have this very glamorous image of being in the hotel industry, of traveling the world, speaking multiple languages, meeting different people. So that's definitely one of the key drivers which attracted me into the industry. And the second one, which is related to the first, is the human interaction and being in contact daily with people, servicing people. Clearly, these were the two factors. And as I developed in my career and I started, I think my first job was waiter in a hotel lobby. I wasn't even allowed to carry the coffee. I was just allowed to bring it from the station to the waiter. So that's how I started. And so I've done waitering, I've done front office, and then moved to some more administrative roles as well. But along all these experiences and until I became a general manager, really the one thing that kept me going and continuously excited me is meeting people, servicing people, the challenges that I learned on a daily basis. No other day is alike in our industry. So these are the things that kept me going until I reached a senior level within our industry, and I was leading the office of a very large multinational hotel group based here in Dubai for the Middle East and Africa for about 8 years. And then towards the end, I finally brought my dream to reality by establishing Aleph Hospitality.
Wow, that's so inspiring. Like you started from like such a small scale, and now here you are. So you built a company from scratch, and clearly it's not easy, especially when you're challenging the status quo. And that is exactly what you did, right? So what gap did you see in the market, and how did you decide to fix it?
So the clear gap, so before, when I moved to Dubai, actually 20 years ago, it was to set up a company which was a hotel operator, independent hotel operator. Well, I probably half independent in the sense that we had the exclusivity for the master franchise of Holiday Inn Express in the GCC. And so we couldn't operate anything outside of Holiday Inn Express, and we raised the money for that, and we brought this new concept to the region. But while we were doing this, I went to Europe, I went back to Europe, and met companies similar to the ones we were setting up at the time to run these hotels. And I've discovered this concept of third-party management company or independent hotel operators. So toured the UK and France, met with these companies just to see how they operate. And I've discovered that a very large part of the hotels are not managed by the brands themselves. They were managed by independent operators who, by the way, were managing Holiday Inns, Marriott, Hiltons, but it was the same management company. So that idea remained in my mind, and as again I was continuing to evolve in my career, I realized how important and the difference an independent hotel operator can make for a hotel owner and an investor. So as the market was maturing, I looked around and said, there are no professionally set up independent hotel operators in the region. So that's what basically drove me to set up the company. This is the gap that we saw. And we've established Aleph 10 years ago now, exactly as you mentioned. A couple of weeks ago, we've celebrated our 10th anniversary. Very exciting journey. Since then, some people say, "Are you worried that you have competition coming now?"
Yeah.
And for me, it's super exciting because we actually initiated a change in the market. We contributed and catalyzed a certain market trend that is, again, super beneficial, not only for us as an independent operator, but also, of course, for the hotel investor, and we can talk more about this. But also for the hotel brands, which finally they've realized in this part of the world that actually the way to go is franchising, much easier for them, much more profitable, and it allows them to grow much faster.
That's true. And you make it sound so easy, but I'm sure it wasn't like that easy when you started. So what were some of the biggest hurdles that you faced when it came to convincing hotel owners and partners to trust a new independent operator like yourself?
Listen, of course, sometimes we're reminded of these charts we see on the internet and the social media, the success, the iceberg, and it's, of course, like any startup, any entrepreneurial journey, there are a lot of challenges, difficulties that one encounter. For our model, it was very, very difficult for us, first of all, to tell and convince the brand and make them feel comfortable that we do have, that Aleph has the right setup to operate their brands, comfortably, and to take care of their brands. So that was not easy at the early stages, because in the Middle East and Africa, they were not used to this. They never, or there were few experiences which were actually negative experiences. And franchising. So the franchising did not have this great image. So convincing the brands was not an easy thing. Equally, convincing the owners was as difficult for a number of reasons. I want to say, why? How can you do a better job than Marriott at managing a Marriott? They are Marriott. They can. No one can do a better job than them. The reality is we don't do, and I always repeat this, we never say that we do a better job than the brands. This is not our forte. Our forte is that we do the same job, we do it differently, and we generate better results in some areas, and we give more flexibility for the hotel owners. Typically, the models generate around 10 to 15%, depending on the hotel type, the location, the size, but 10 to 15% higher gross operating profit. We give much more control to the hotel owner. So there are benefits for the owner, which, as the market was maturing, and I have to say, as ironic as this is, COVID was a catalyst as well. So although at that time all our hotels were closed, we had severe cash flow issues because that's our only source of revenue. It was the period where we signed most hotels. And why? Because this is the period when owners realized, had the time to look into their profit and loss statements in details. They wanted to take rapid actions with the brands during COVID to either shut down or put actions to reduce the cost, etc. And these massive companies were most of the time not super reactive. So they said, okay, there must be a different way. And they were all of a sudden much more open to listen to our basically pitch, and they found an interest, and then of course they started asking around, and what's happening in the US, what's happening in Europe, and this is when we really started taking off. Now, there's also one last part in the challenges, which is going alone or going with partners. And I have to say that although the first 3 years I was alone as a shareholder, after 3 years, I came to a realization that, in order to step up the company and, go even further and be able to offer more services, but also to gain in credibility, to gain some insight, I've decided so I sold half of the company to my current business partner, Neil George, who is also was a senior executive in the hotel industry. And then together, after a few years, we decided to take another step. And because of COVID and our pipeline, we saw that the pipeline that we have is quite strong, and we needed additional capital to be ready for this next step. So we did the capital raise, and we were super lucky to have secured some capital from a very large European institutional investor, and that helped us basically go to the next level in our journey.
Yeah. And it's so inspiring that despite all those hurdles, you've established so much in the last 10 years. So we can clearly see that Aleph's strategy is resonating in the market. People are loving what you're doing. What do you see as the key driver behind the success story? What is that one thing?
As cliche as this might sound, but we love people, I just came back from 2 weeks tour, 1 week in Cape Town and 1 week in Morocco. And I sat down with most of our hotels and hotel teams there. And I had almost the same spiel to them because many of these hotels are newly integrated. And, I told them, listen, this is a business of people. There's nothing we can do without people. We are here to service the guests who are coming to sleep at our hotels. We are here to service the owners, hotel investors who have invested millions in this asset, and it is our duty to service them and make sure that they get the return on investment. But we are also equally, and there is in this equation, the third one is actually the team, our people, and we are here to service them, to give them the support, to give them the knowledge, to give them, the training, to give them the career opportunities. And, I was very clear that between these three, there is no hierarchy. They're equally important. And if you, take care of these three constituents, you will definitely succeed. And just for an anecdote, Neil and I always say, we never sign a hotel management agreement and we never recruit anyone in our team if we cannot have a drink or dinner with them and enjoy it. If we don't, then there's no point. Because these are typically long-term relationships you see in the hotel industry. And like any other relationship, it is always very prone to fluctuations. So you have some good periods, you have lesser good periods, like any relationship. So when things are not great, you need to have the maturity and the understanding of the other person to make sure that you're gonna, go through this period and continue working. So the focus on the people is definitely one of the major reasons for our success. And then it's the focus, the actual focus we bring to our hotel operations. We will probably talk about that, but I'll just touch base on it. Today with our growth, we are at 50 hotels now in the Middle East and Africa, and we're doing something that I don't think any other hotel management company in the region, even the big brands, have done. Although we're based in Dubai, we have opened a regional office in Saudi Arabia just to run our operations there. And we are now in the process of opening 4 other regional offices in Africa. Nairobi for East Africa, Cape Town for South Africa, Abidjan for West Africa, and Morocco for Morocco and North Africa. And the idea is to be close to our business, to as close as possible to the hotels, to the people, to the owner. I don't want to become another big brand and saying, I pretend to manage hotels in 9 hours away. I mean, I just came back from Morocco or Cape Town and 9 hours away. I cannot pretend to manage hotels when I'm 9 hours away from these hotels. So this proximity and building a local and deep market knowledge is something that, has helped us grow. Today, 60% of our owners are repeat customers. So we have more than one hotel with them, which is a significant achievement.
And the numbers speak for themselves. So as you said that you're expanding rapidly, right, across multiple regions. You also mentioned Saudi Arabia. But recently you signed one of the region's biggest deal in Africa. It took place at FHS Africa. So I would really like you to say a few things about that.
Sure. Well, this is really, again, a very, very exciting achievement for us. It's been in the works for the last 18 months. we actually started officially operating this portfolio of hotels, the Onomo hotels in Africa as of the September 1st.
Okay.
We did make the announcement in June. And we're super excited. Why? For a number of reasons. One, we love the brand. Onomo is a regionally grown African lifestyle brand. They grew again from one hotel in Dakar to 26 now under operation, and we are now opening 3 more before the end of the year. It is, we love it because it's very local. And we are also very proud because this is, as you mentioned it is not one of the, it is the largest hotel management deal in Africa, you know, and we're super proud that we did it. So that gives us, again, another step. This scaling up is very important for us. But it also signals another shift in the market and moving from management to franchise. In this case, it's even more than that because the Onomo brand is owned by the guys who own the assets. So they were owners, operators, and they had the brand as well. So they owned the assets, they owned the brand, and they were operating.
Exactly.
And so they've realized that, you know, their core capabilities and skills were in the asset management and the development. So they kept this with them. They are keeping also the brand. They want to continue developing the brand. So we're not exclusive ourselves for Onomo. They want to continue developing the brand. But then they said, you know, the management, let's give it to the professionals. It needs a bit more attention and focus. And they saw that there are opportunities for improvement. Said, okay, let's give it to the specialists then. And this is what the Middle Eastern market has also witnessed in the last few years with massive institutional and family investors in Dubai and other parts as well have shifted from straight management contracts to franchise contracts. We've seen it in Dubai with large assets like Habtoor City, with, you know, so and some others as well. So again, we're really pushing the market. We're pushing the boundaries of the market, and we are attracting our very large competitors from abroad now who are opening up their eyes. Say, okay, this market seems to be quite interesting. So, you know, when you have big multinationals coming from the US, from Europe, and wanting to establish themselves in this part of the world, it can only mean that they're looking at us and saying, wow, these guys are successful. If they did it, maybe we can do it as well.
But
we're ready for we're ready for the
bring it on, right?
Bring it on.
So as you said that, you know, your market is spreading so much. So what markets are you currently prioritizing? And I think you've said that cultural is so important, keeping the brand authentic to what it is. So how do you adapt your management approach to each market? And like, what advice would you give to people who are thinking of entering these markets?
So, you know, one of the other factors of our success is the flexibility. So we talked about the people, we talked about the focus of on the assets, but our flexibility as well is very important, and because we offer something which is called, you know, hotel management tailored to fit, and you know, we don't come with, you know, one way and saying, you know, this is the way to run a hotel, whether you are in Dubai or Jeddah or Cameroon or Cape Town. This is the way. No. There are certain principles, but then every time we adapt to the local market, but also we adapt to who the investor is and what the investor's needs are. So we deal with from the multinational institutional investor to the large family offices to the individual investors with single assets. And these have different needs. They have different requirements and anticipations. And so our flexibility and adaptability towards these investors is very important. And as we continue to grow, we continue to develop, and we work a lot hand in hand with our owners. So most of the time we tell our owners, the moment you sign with us, we actually become your internal hospitality team. Okay, we're not sitting across the table from you. We're actually sitting on the same side of the table, and you can see us as a member of your team. Whatever you need for your hotel, just you pick up the phone, you call us, we will make it happen. Okay? So we don't need to take approvals from Paris, London, New York. Everything is here. We're super reactive, super close to our operation, and as we continue to grow the Middle East and Africa, to answer as well your question about where we're focusing, the Middle East and Africa remains our focus. Where for the time being we're not looking outside of the region, and within this region, obviously the UAE is a focus for us, Saudi Arabia, and then in many countries in Africa, there are 54, but Morocco, I just came back. Morocco is witnessing a big boom. South Africa is another area of focus. East Africa in general, we're very strong, and we continue to see a lot of traction there for us. Central Africa, so listen, we're seeing growth everywhere.
You're giving your secrets out. So coming back to our city, Dubai, where we are right now, we see that, and I love how much emphasis you're putting on people and cultivating people. So we see that education and talent development is becoming extremely important in Dubai. Everyone's talking about it. So how important, according to you, it is to empower your workforce and to retain that cultural essence that you just talked about?
Well, one of the advantages we have as an independent hotel operator, so you can come and work for Aleph Hospitality today at the Marriott Marquis. So we run the Marriott Marquis here in Dubai, for example. And so you can come and be working at the Marriott Marquis in Dubai for a year, 2 years. And then, we shift you to, or you request a change to another property, and we grow you, give you the opportunity to go to another property, which is a Hilton, and then to, a Holiday Inn, and then to a Ramada, and then it doesn't matter. And then you'll grow a career with us while staying with the same management company, but you're building a very nice career with a variety of brands and variety of countries. And so this is one of the key aspects we have in our company. And as Aleph is growing fast, we're providing more and more opportunities. We've developed specific programs for our managers to allow them to become general managers. Of course, the key role in our company is the general manager. He's the face of everything, or she is the face of everything we do locally. And there's another aspect that I would like to touch base on that we were very proud of. We've launched something called the Aleph Innovation Lab a few years ago, and which has been successful. And it's basically an incubator. It's a pre-seed incubator where we invite people with ideas related to the hotel and travel and tourism industry, if they have any ideas, to come and work from our offices for about 6 months, between 3 and 6 months, and we provide them with a large number of benefits. Of course, the offices, the infrastructure, but also the support from all our departments: marketing, finance, feasibility, financial modeling, but also Neil and my knowledge. We do some coaching once a month with them, review their presentation pitch, etc., connecting them to potential investors. One of the very successful actually companies or startups, they after they left the innovation lab, they were able to go to the US. They just sent me a message this morning. They did their first round. They raised $3.8 million. It's an amazing food tech idea. And we just launched our new call for a new cohort to come and join us. So we're trying to do as much as possible for to give back, but also for our team members. We constantly have training programs. We enhance them. We're offering more and more online training as well, so people can take them at their leisure, not only when it's just mandated.
That's very exciting. Where can I sign up? So speaking of the future, what are some major trends that you're seeing, especially in Middle East and Africa, that are on your watch list, and you think that will really impact the investment landscape in the industry?
Well, I cannot but speak about the change which is happening in the franchising aspect.
Yeah.
This is really one of the major change. Again, 10 years ago when we started Aleph Hospitality, it was super difficult to get a franchise. Today, large brands, when you speak to large brands, they'll tell you that probably 60% of their pipeline is franchised. And our first lead generator today are the brands. So the brands are calling us on a daily basis and telling us, we have this opportunity here, we have this opportunity there. Would you manage it? We don't want to manage. We'll give you the brand, just go and manage. So this is really the major change that we're seeing, which in terms of investment, again, if you sit down with an investor and telling them, I'm offering you a different model, which will enhance your profitability, immediate profitability and cash flow by adding this 10 to 15% on the operational profit, but also because our contracts are much more flexible, it will enhance and make their exit, if they have an exit plan, it will also make it much easier for them and hopefully more financially rewarding.
Yeah. So exciting times for you and for the industry too. But it's just that I would love to sit here all day and ask you all the questions I have. But personally for me, I am a very young new leader in this industry. And I look up to people like you.
Thank you.
Who have paved the way for so many of us. So Bani, one last question would be that if you could go back in time and give your younger self one piece of advice, what would that be?
Probably network more.
Okay.
Yes, and that's the, I think, again, going back to the people, our industry, it's all about networking. It's all about connecting the dots, making these connections to make one grow, to make these connections, these business connections, and these business connections have multiple benefits, of course, growing the business, but also learning and viewing different ways, experiencing different ways of doing things. And sometimes, we learn, even now, we learn from new hotel owners who have never been in the hotel industry. It's their first hotel. Some of them come from the retail. And, the way they look at procurement and purchasing is completely different. And we learn from them because they are the experts of this industry. So yes, networking, meeting different kinds of people and trying to absorb as much knowledge. I wish I did more of it.
You did enough. Here we are today, so I'm glad. But thank you so much, Bani, for your time. It was lovely speaking to you.
Thank you for having me.
It was such a pleasure.